Well, we want to move to this morning as well. Joe Biden, the President of the United States, gave a commencement address yesterday at Howard University. He didn't talk about the border. He didn't talk about the threat of the Chinese Communist Party. He didn't even talk about the threat of Islamic terrorism. Instead, he said the biggest threat to our country is, in fact, the threat of white supremacy. Watch.
A harsh reality that racism has long torn us apart. It's a battle that's never really over. But on the best days, enough of us have the guts and the hearts to stand up for the best in us. To stand up against the poison of white supremacy, as I did my inaugural address, to single out as the most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. And I'm not saying this because I'm at a black HBCU. I say it wherever I go.
That's right. He said that. And meanwhile, a record number of actual terrorists, as you talked about, suspects have been coming across our border. Take a look at this list here. So we have in October through March, in 2022 alone, 98 people. Look at the increase.
Look at the one in the bottom right. That's 4 years combined. 8 total on the terror watch list encountered. These are the encounters, by the way, not the gotaways.
Exactly.
So far, 168. It's just listening to that speech, it's so divisive, so cynical. It plays into the conversation they want to be having about MAGA Republicans and threats to democracy. It's not grounded in actual threats, or at least ones that I just look at it and I go, this is where we're at. And it's so demoralizing.
It's not true, and he doesn't believe it to be true.
Yeah.
That's right.
If he believed it to be true, we'd be talking about a level of incompetency that would be unmatched in the Oval Office, in the White House. If it were to be true, we'd be looking at a president that is totally ignorant of the threat of the Chinese Communist Party, Islamic terrorism, terrorists coming through the southern border. We would be looking at a president so frivolous and ignorant that it would represent in and of itself a national security threat.
Yeah.
But it's not true. And he doesn't believe it's true. It's a pander. And it is a naked and shameless and embarrassing pander that he has to put a punctuation mark of. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here in HBCU. Yes, you are. And you know what we could do? We could roll the tape of Joe Biden throughout his career as a politician and all of the racist statements that he has made. Look, not subjective, objectively racist statements he has made throughout his career, and say, this is your knight in shining armor? This is your man to take down white supremacy? He's pandering, and if it can't be seen, you're blind.
Well, it's also it's a political strategy, and we had on this guy named Gene from America First Legal, who uncovered that our federal law enforcement is actually going after these supposed white supremacists, and they had these ridiculous, comical profiles of pro-life moms and conservative dads, in rural America. And meanwhile, we have this list of 168 terrorists coming across our border in just the last few months. So, that's crazy. But it's so, I'm going to just say it, I think it's evil. It's evil to take a country as good as ours, a country that really, if you look at people's everyday interactions with people of other races and cultures here in America, they're by and large 99.9% peaceful, loving. People want to live in America the way Martin Luther King had it, where we don't see color, we look at people's character. That's who we are, and yet for political gain, because he has failed so much as a president and taken our country so down, he understands the only way he could win is to convince some pretty dumb college kids at that university, if they believe him.
Well, what a disservice.
It's a disservice. If they believe that this country is full of white supremacists and that's our #1 threat. But look, you saw in 2020, Pete, during those riots, a lot of people can be convinced that this is a racist country.
That's being taught at that university and at universities across America. So that statement is not surprising to the ears of those kids or to the ears of most college kids across America. They've been programmed to believe that is true, most of which have never left the country, never seen real. You want to see real racism? Travel the world. Travel the world outside of our borders. We have our sins of our past and things we've had to get through in this country. There's no doubt. But man, when you look at the way Americans live together in everyday life, ignoring the issue of race, it's a special thing, and they're trying to ruin that. Cynical.
No question about it.